Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Digital Collective. I'm your host, James Hicks from Hicks New Media. And on this show, we focus on the people, platforms, and the tools that are making positive strides within the technology sector today. My guest today is Mr. Rob Balasabas. Rob is a man of many talents, many experiences, and many stories. Professionally, he serves as the head of partnership and community at Uscreen, which is a platform that helps brands and creators monetize and distribute videos online. He's also an advocate for content creators. You'll find him not only attending, but also speaking at various conferences on topics such as content monetization, creator economy trends, and fostering digital community. On the personal side, he's a husband, he's a father, traveler, and like me, he likes his good cup of coffee. So, today we are going to talk a little bit about breaking barriers as a content creator, understanding what you can and what you can't do, what you should do, and really what I like to say a lot of times, getting out of your own way. So, with that, let's go ahead and get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, say something about me because on brand, use screen
I
brand, ladies.
know.
Let's get a screenshot of that right there. Golly. Oh, yeah,
Look
and
at this guy.
for the people,
No,
huh? Okay,
there it is.
there you go. My work is done here. Dr. Balasabas, how are you doing, sir?
Dr.
That's
Balasabas.
right.
There is one doctor. It's not in the family. It's not me for sure. But hey, Mr. Hicks, thank you so much, man. It's an honor to be on your show. Love everything that you're doing, everything here in the creator space. Yeah, been looking forward to this interview for a couple weeks now. So
Awesome, awesome.
yeah,
And you
excited.
got your Americano with you because I'm drinking one as well right now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Had it, finished it. We're good to go.
Oh, so you're wired right now. I love it. So
No wired,
so
yeah.
perfect segue. I like to do the monologue. I like to tell folks, at that high level, 35,000 foot level, who folks are, and for anyone on my or within my community who may not know you, if you don't mind telling us who Rob Balasabas is and kind of that origin story, sir.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, thanks again, James, for having me on. Yeah, hey everyone. Yeah, Rob Balasabas. By day I'm a head of partnerships and community at Uscreen, and James had mentioned it. We're a video membership platform. We serve over 25,000 creators at the moment with their video memberships, and helping and educating them on how to build sustainable, predictable revenue streams. I have a YouTube channel myself. I have a podcast, so definitely a creator by heart. I share a lot of tutorials and tech tutorials, live stream, and just talking to different influencers and creators and industry experts about the creator economy and this very new industry that we are all involved in, right? If you're watching this on James's channel and his different streams, yeah, the creator economy is just expanding, and it's just a very fascinating time for this industry. And so we're right in the heart of it, both, with my day job. We work with creators and influencers. I handle our sponsorships and events and influencer marketing over there. And so, yeah, like James said, just all about the creators and advocating for them really to build sustainable revenue streams and businesses and, around their content. I think that's kind of where we're going now, as this industry is starting to mature.
Yeah, I love that. And think about it from this perspective. So let's kind of dive in and get focused a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of creators either came up, started maybe when the world stopped, right? When the
Right.
pandemic hit and said, you know what, I have an idea, I have a community that I want to build, that I want to foster, and I have a message, I have something I want to talk about. Now we started talking about not just having it as a side hustle, not just having content creation as a hobby, but really from a business perspective. Let me get your thoughts on who should monetize, who should not
Mm.
monetize, what should be monetized, and things of that nature. You made an interesting statement in I think it was episode 86 of your podcast. I'll put the
Yeah.
links to Rob's podcast in the description. And he was talking
Sweet.
about mentality of being too small.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's go into that a little bit and try to get folks out of that mentality again, out of their own way, that they may be too small to monetize. Because I think a lot of folks, be honest with you, think that you have to have that 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours,
Yeah.
that criteria from Google. But let's get into that a little
Mhm.
bit.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I love that question, James. I do come across a lot of creators, a lot of most of the creators that I get to speak with on a regular basis now are more established creators, right? We're talking about sponsorships, we're talking about collaborations and business, which is really interesting. I think a lot of creators have become um, more and more savvy with becoming a business person, and the successful ones for sure have either they have it in them to be business savvy. That's just how their mind works. They're creators first, but they're also business savvy. They picked up that skill. Or if they're not business savvy, or they don't want to be business savvy or handle the numbers and deals and all that stuff, they hire somebody or bring
Mm,
somebody on that is business savvy. And so that usually takes the form of some type of manager. I'm finding that it's a lot of talent agencies who are also shifting their role when they work with creators and influencers to not just be talent agents, grabbing, finding brand deals, but they're also now shifting to this sort of business advisory role, James, where
okay.
they're actually partnering with the creators to create brands, products, Mr. Beast and Night Media, for example,
Hmm.
is a great example, with Feastables and all that. They're partnering on that product. Mr. Beast doesn't want to be a burger franchise guy. Like, he's a creator, right? And so
Yeah. No, he's
it's
got
really,
stuff in Walmart on the shelf, and I saw him having a little
yeah,
consternation when it first launched. But again, yeah,
yeah,
that's not his thing. That's just a piece of his overall impact.
that's a
But
piece
I
of his
understand what you're
thing.
saying. Yeah.
Exactly. So I guess, yeah, I mean, when it comes to small creators and up and coming creators, newer creators, I think they say, like, comparison is the thief of joy, right? When you
No.
start
Yeah.
comparing yourself to, like, hey, I want to be like this guy, or I see this guy, he's doing this thing and he's got products, or this guy, he does videos and he charges, X amount of dollars for a brand deal on every video, and he's got this massive channel. I can't do that yet. I'm not able to do that yet. Um, that's probably the first thing that most creators need to address, right? Anybody that's trying to come up in any sort of industry is like, hey, I can't. You'll rub up against that at some
Yeah.
point, and you'd be lying if you don't. That you're always, it's good to look up to others that have gone before you, but it's really not good if that is stopping you from saying, hey, you're belittling yourself, and you
Good
can say,
point.
like, I can't do that, until I'm that level. You kind of work towards it. So yeah, just that comparison first and foremost.
Yeah.
When it comes to smaller creators, James, like, I've seen creators with relatively smaller channels have very impactful businesses, successful businesses, multiple staff members, and multiple revenue streams. And it really comes down to being strategic and intentional with what you're building. A lot of creators I find are, like I said, really good creators. They can really, hone in on an audience and engage them and build a following. Um, but a lot of them don't know really what they want to do once that following
Man,
arrives.
okay, we can get into that right there because that could be. I've already got you on the pitch clock, right? Because you said you got somewhere to go. Now that could be 2 hours just worth of a conversation right there. If
Right,
you don't
right.
know what you're trying to do, but you go out there and you just try to paint, you just try to boil the ocean,
Hmm.
you're not going to be very successful at it. Let me pause you on that right there
Sure,
because
sure. Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to make sure that we get through some of these things. And shouts out, I see some folks in the comments. Someone on
yeah,
Facebook says, monetize all the things. That's a
yeah.
very true statement there because you alluded to that. And we were talking about that before we went online. I'm doing the Roberto Blake mentality, right?
Mm,
Not just having the focus on the Google AdSense, not just having
hmm.
focus on monetizing and getting the super thanks or the super chats and things of that nature, but
Yeah.
10 to 15 streams of income for
Hmm.
a creator really
Yeah.
is should be normal.
Hmm.
Right, so either it be coaching sessions, either it be merchandise, either it be affiliate relations and things of that nature. So monetizing all the things, wherever this was on Facebook, you really hit on that particular task right there. Talk a
Yeah.
little bit about your thoughts when someone says that. Again, looking at the creators who are not at the Mr. Beast level, but
Hmm.
the creators who have 100, 200, 300, 2,000 subscribers on their channel and are looking for ways to maybe help continue to pay the toy budget, right? Continue to grow that
Right.
monetization and grow that advocacy. I don't like the word influence. I'll continue
Mm.
to say advocacy, but to continue to grow that.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really good question. Man, so many thoughts on that. And shout out to Corey. I think I see him and Chris Stone as well. Good to see you guys here. Um, yeah, multiple revenue streams. Yes, completely agree. Roberto Blake is the goat out here, right? With revenue streams and just a brilliant guy when it comes to that. He is one of those creators that's fantastic at creating content and all the things of algorithms and all that. The game of being a creator, but he's also a very savvy businessman. So um, yeah, you should have multiple revenue streams, but you don't build all those revenue streams all at once. You have to build them one at a time, right? It's like you can't start a revenue stream and say, hey, I'm going to launch a merch line. Start it. It's like kind of half done. You got a few orders,
Mm,
and then you're going to move on and like, oh, somebody told me I should start making courses. All right, I'm going to go make courses now and focus on that. When your swag or your merch revenue stream isn't really running, it's not a business. It's not really something that is, making money when you're not there, whether you automate it or you hire somebody to manage it. You're making new designs, you're making new drops. Like you have to really master each revenue
yeah.
stream. It's not something you just like, I'm going to start one revenue stream every month. After 12 months, in a year, I'll have 12 revenue streams. It just doesn't happen that way. It's not an overnight thing.
You
Um,
have to be, and apologize for interrupting, but again, these
yeah,
things
yeah, yeah,
come to my head. I'm an old guy, so I got to keep talking, right? Be conscious about these activities, right? So yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah,
want to fire up a merch shop, amazing, right? You've got your designs, you do your first drop or whatever the case may be. Stay active in that. Make sure it
yeah.
continues to evolve. Don't be static in the content that you put out there or the merchandise that you put out there. Make sure that it's maintains on brand. Make
Yep.
sure that it resonates with the community, not just you,
Yes.
right? I'm not making shirts and hats that have my face or my name on it anymore.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
started that and I realized that, you know what, that's not really the thing. I may be the brand, but folks are coming because they either like the shows, the perspectives and focus, or they want something like that, or they want something like, the team no sleep logo, things of that nature. So that's what's resonating, the content. So being a shepherd to the community and understanding that I'm just here kind of guiding this train, so to speak. But
Hmm.
again, staying active in that, staying conscious in the development of that, and doing. I'm a fan, honestly, of doing at least one thing good before trying to move on to something else. Right. So
That's
yeah, I
right.
got, like I said, I got 10 to 12 or so monetization strategies and streams, but tap myself on the back. I think I've done the ones that I've got right now, and I've established the kind of the framework for each of them quite
Yes.
well, such that they can be sustainable somewhat on their own. So again, I apologize, man. Go ahead.
No, 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 no. I love it, man. It's a conversation. Yeah, yeah, you nailed it. And Chris Stone, tactical.
Yeah,
That's really
tactical.
it. You got to be tactical, right? You don't want to, one step back, pulling back on this whole revenue stream idea is that when you're starting out, not every revenue stream is the same. You can't just start out and,
Mm,
I talked to, let's go back to Uscreen, video memberships, right? Memberships as a whole. Memberships is not something that I would advise any new creator to start. It doesn't make any sense, right? Because again, you have to look at like it's like, when you're applying for college, there's requirements, right? Like, okay, have you taken these courses? Have you
yeah,
passed them? Have you built the credibility to then do this next thing? Memberships, for example, is probably more for a later stage creator because you need a loyal following. You need to understand videos, right? You need to understand community management and community building. You need all these things where, let's say, for example, coaching. Coaching, you don't need a
yeah,
big audience. You need the experience, and hopefully that's what you're bringing to the table, regardless of how old your YouTube channel is, how many videos you've created. You have experience, whether it's, in parenting or Google Ads or kite flying, like whatever it is, you have an experience. And so that's a skill. That's something that you can package right from the get-go. Even if you have like one subscriber, you can start doing coaching and consulting, right? And that's a good way to understand, start getting to know your audience, what are their pain points, and then start building that library of knowledge to then think like, okay, here are common pain points of people that I'm helping.
Mm.
Then maybe you can take that information and then say, okay, here is probably the kind of, course or membership, that I would create. So that's kind of how you would start. You really have to kind of think like not every revenue stream is the same, but you should, as a creator, start thinking of revenue streams right from the get go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get into a little bit deeper into that because that's actually my next question. But
Mhm.
folks, definitely in the community, I see you online. I see you on Twitter. Come on over to YouTube and engage with Mr. Balasabas. Listen, this is he charges a lot per the 20-minute time frame. And we got him right now here for, oh my God, 21 more minutes until he wants to get. um, I think what you're really talking about again is understanding that, yeah, you may start as a side hustle,
Yeah.
you may
Hmm.
start as a hobby, but when you
Yes.
start talking about memberships, you start talking about subscriptions, you start talking about doing this full time, that's when you got to
Hmm.
really put that business hat on, right?
Yes.
You can't just go out this half baked and think that you're going to properly serve your community if you don't go in with some of those frameworks, some of those ideas, some of those principles already laid out, right? You can't just go in there and not respect the process, that the fact that this takes a little bit of time for
That's
you
right.
to get to that level to where you can start charging those $495 per year membership fees on your Uscreen account, right? And things of that nature, right? You really got to, you got to work through, you got to fall down, you got to get back up, and you got to understand what happened, and you got to kind of go through some of those steps. So
Yeah.
let
Hmm.
me go ahead, man. I was going to ask you something about the monetization, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, no. I was gonna say, like, yes, man, I love revenue streams. That's obviously what we're talking about
Yeah.
here. But the thing that you're doing here is you're building an audience, right? You're building an audience of people that are very loyal to you that will do work with you. Some of them will pay for, the $500 an hour, $1,000 an hour consulting. Some of them will only have a budget to join and maybe buy, your $99 course. Some of them will only support you by way of watching your videos and using your affiliate links, right? And so you need to kind of start really keeping that in mind. Same thing, just like any business, right? Some people will buy the most premium thing from, I don't know, Costco, right? You buy the most expensive. Some people are just there for the cheap stuff. Some people are just there for the free, samples and
I,
stuff.
I
And
was going to
that's
say I'm only there for the free food.
you're just there
I'm the
for.
guy
I'm just
walking
there
up and
for.
down the aisle getting the crackers and the brownies. But
That's right.
again,
That's
I
right. That's right.
digress. Yeah.
And so the way that you really have to think about it is that you're building an audience that is loyal to you, that you're serving. That always has to be the front of your mind. The business stuff will come, and of course, yes, we want to talk about that. But those products from many creators that I've seen that are full time creators, they really just like they focus on building their audience, and then the audience tells them, hey, you should build that or you should do that, and then there's already this focus group of people that are like, okay, I get it, there's a demand for this, I'm just going to fill this demand.
Good
It's
point.
not something that they're not forcing the products or the business onto their followers, their
Or
subscribers.
we can just do like Matt is saying right here, right? Just create a YouTube channel, make money, and then be done with it. Right. I love it. I love it.
Awesome with
I
things, yeah.
appreciate you for being here, man. Hope you're still getting better. Let me ask again about revenue and monetization
Sure.
and being comfortable with asking for that subscription fee, that
Mm,
membership fee, or for
mm,
that higher price for the t-shirt, right? Instead of offering the same t-shirt, instead of offering your t-shirt for $15, yours costs $35, right?
mhm,
Understanding the value that you offer to your community and then not being afraid to charge for it. There's a
mm,
statement out there from the founder of Mighty Networks, and
mm.
I've been making it mine. So hopefully Gina doesn't come at me, but people pay attention to what they pay for.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit about what your thoughts are, again, in terms of creators getting out of their own way, breaking down these
Mm,
barriers and understanding that revenue and asking for your worth when you go out there and do a consulting gig, when you do a coaching gig, when you're selling merchandise or whatever the case may be, products and services. Talk a little bit about asking for revenue and setting up some of those revenue streams.
Yeah, that's a really good question, James.
Listen, man, come on. I got Balasabas here. I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna
That's
get
a
it
really
right.
good question. That's a really good question. Again, this comes back to being business savvy. When you're business savvy, I mean, we've all been there. You go to when you're any type of business setting, there's an element of like sort of that straightforwardness that needs to come out, and that's not something that people are afraid of. That's just something that is like they want that. They appreciate somebody that's straightforward. There's a lot of friends of mine, and they'll when they help me out, like, hey, can you do this or that, and provide a service from their business. There's always like either two sides. There's like, okay, here, cool, here you go, we'll do that. Here's the invoice. I'm like, awesome, great. I wanted to pay you. I don't belittle me and say like, I'm gonna do it for free or whatever, or like, hey, it's up to you, whatever you want to pay. Um, that's almost that can come off almost insulting, right?
Mm,
I don't know if you
mm,
guys kind of agree on that, but that kind of comes off a little insulting. Like, no, treat me like you would treat, because I want your finest service. I don't want anything less. And when you're a creator, you're out there, you're helping people with, whether it's like something to just better their life and improve their lifestyle, or you're like literally helping somebody with their career with some new skill sets, how to edit a video, or how to take better videos, and how to grow their YouTube channel, and all these things. You're adding value to their life, and so they want to pay you. This is what I get
that's a key
generally.
point, folks.
There's really people don't want to owe other people. And yes, we all will sort of like brag about what great deal we got when we get a new car, like, hey, I talked that sales guy down real low, or whatever it is. But genuinely, I think when it comes to creators and their audience, I don't think the audience really is scared to pay. They'll pay if they find value. If they don't, they'll they won't. you
Yeah,
know. And not everybody will pay you. Not everybody will take you up on your high ticket coaching or whatever, or buy your merch. But the good majority is will do that. Will support you if you are helping them. You're adding value to their life. Um, they'll support you. And so don't be
yeah,
afraid, because they are expecting you to put a price and to pay what you're worth. It's for what it's worth. That's really what's happening out there. So don't be afraid. If you hold back and you say, yeah, you know what, I'll do it for this, or I'm going to just undercut the price based on what I see other people are doing, because I don't feel like I'm worth it, then people will see that as well, right?
yeah,
People are really good at reading those kind of things nowadays.
yeah. That could resonate in the future as well. I listen
Yeah.
to Chris Do a lot, right? And
Oh
and
yeah,
he
yeah.
has
Oh
folks
yeah,
come in
man.
and give these exact same type of stories of my rate is this, but I have a
Hmm.
client or a prospective client who their budget is only X amount. And then talking to and talking around and talking about value and perceived value. And you can have it one of three ways. You can have it fast, you can have it cheap, and you can have it good.
You're
Right.
right.
But you can't have all of
Chris
them.
Doe's
So,
awesome.
you got to really got to think about those kinds of things. So, do not be afraid to charge your worth. Understand what that is. Don't undercut yourself. We spend a lot of time in designing systems and designing processes, right? So a lot of the behind the scenes stuff of we got Tall Boy here, Corey Sanders, right? Who does remote production, I know.
Right.
All the effort that he does in terms of building out shows, building out overlays, doing the marketing, doing the promotion, right? For his clients, it
Yeah.
makes sense to have that conversation about this is the value that I'm bringing to this particular asset. My rate for this level of content is this.
Hmm.
Someone
Hmm.
like a Chris Stone in here who does phenomenal stuff, right? I mean, listen,
Yes.
it's over the moon. I'm trying to
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to get to that level. It's gonna take a while, but someone like a Dr. Stone here, right? Those kinds of things as well. All the knowledge, the insight that they have, and what I talked to him a couple of hours ago, right? He knows 10% more than a lot of other folks about something, so that makes him the subject matter expert. You should
Right.
be able to charge for that. You
Yeah,
should be able to
that's
charge for
right.
that.
That's right. That's right. You're a shortcut, right? I think
Mm,
again, this comes to this mentality of like, a lot of people don't have money, when in fact they do. They do have money. They have money to spend on the right things, right? They're not just going to spend it previously. People are like very smart with their money, but if they see value in you, they essentially look at you as their shortcut, right? Would I want to learn everything that James Hicks knows about live streaming and creating content and everything else? Probably not. But if I speak with him and I get a coaching call or a couple of, sessions with him, I would rather, learn that in a month than spend a year trying to learn it myself. And man, that's lost opportunity of
No, it's
time
good stuff.
for me to build what it is I'm building. Yes, I'd rather pay, because to me, my time is more valuable than, the money in my bank. I would rather invest that money and keep my time, and so, um, you don't want to work with people that aren't willing to pay for your time and for your products
True.
anyway. They can hang out, they can watch your videos and support you in that sense. That's great. But you're a business person. You're a creator first, but you are a business. And again, what I tell everybody is that a successful creator, when it comes to revenue and business, is good for everybody. If James is successful, he's not thinking about, you know, paychecks and things like that, his revenue. He can create the best type of content to serve his audience. And he can also invest in better editors and all that stuff. So he can focus on the things that he is the best at to deliver to his audience, and not have to be a jack of all trades for everything that he's doing, right? So it's good for everybody.
Yeah,
That
that's
this
Rob
economy
Balasabas,
moves.
folks. I mean, somebody say something. I mean, make sure you share that piece right there. Take the clip from this stream and share this out to your community as well if you found some value in that. In closing, let me ask you this, because it's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
tying into everything that we're wrapping up about. Um, from a creator's perspective. So we already talked about revenue streams. We talked about charging your value. Talked about don't being afraid to look at multiple streams for
yes,
monetization and things of that nature. But building that cohesive team, that cohesive squad, that inner circle, right?
mm,
Collaborating, right? The
mm,
power and the effectiveness of collaborating. So just kind of like you were saying, right? Having those conversations with like-minded individuals. Talk to me a
yes,
little bit about kind of the effectiveness of collaboration strategies. I know this was a topic in your last newsletter, so I want to
yeah.
hit kind of those 3 points that you talked about. You want me to go over them because I got them written down, or if you
Go
got them,
for
we're
it.
not
Go
trying.
for it. Yeah, 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 yeah,
So, effective collaboration strategies from Mr. Balasabas. Choose complementary styles and audiences,
Yep.
right? Clearly define roles and expectations. Man,
Hmm.
listen, that one right there, that should be number one, but
Hmm.
that's a good one. And promote the collaboration on all your channels.
That's right. That's right. That's
So,
right.
I mean, those are three good things right there. Go ahead, Rob. Talk to us a little bit
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my own YouTube channel. Collaborations is a big part of everything that we do here. At Uscreen, my channel, creators. I mean, you see creators, they're always collaborating. If they're smart, they're always collaborating. We're doing a collaboration right now, James. I shared this on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page and Twitter and all the places. And now, hopefully, more people know about James. And I want more people to know about James. He creates awesome content, similar content than me, but from a different voice, a different angle, a different perspective. And that's good for my audience. The audience, and you look at yourself, right? You have to look at yourself, because a lot of people here, James, I think they're afraid of collaborating because there's the fear. Again, it's sort of this, scarcity versus abundance mentality that,
Hmm.
man, if I share and if I collaborate with James, my audience is going to learn about him and they're not going to watch me anymore. They're going to unsubscribe. They're just going to follow James now,
Interesting.
which is not true,
Yeah.
right? If you look at your own behavior, I follow you, I follow Chris Stone, Jim Fuse, Roberto, Nick Nimmin, Jessica Stansbury. I'm learning from all sorts of people, and that's the same with your audience. They're learning from everyone, and you know if you are able to bring other people into your space, then you are also likely to be invited into other people's spaces,
Mm-hmm.
right? And where
I
you
like
can
that.
meet others there as well. And so your audience grows, their audience grows, your audience grows, and you all grow together. So, yeah, collaboration, man. I highly, highly encourage it. However big or small you are. James, when I first started my YouTube channel, I just like, you know what? I wasn't a tubebuddy yet. I was like a nobody, really. I still am, but I started hitting up like Nick Nimmin and Dusty Porter and all of these guys. Say, hey, I got this new YouTube channel. Love what you guys do. You guys want to come onto my channel and just have a chat? 30 minutes and 9 out of 10, James, they would say yes. Like, it's it was really weird for me in the beginning, but then I started to realize that people that are successful are always looking for opportunities to give back, right?
Yeah.
And not in a charitable way. It's just the right thing to do when you get to that space, and to sort of open the door, and keep the door open for the people coming in behind you, kind of thing. So yeah, don't be afraid to reach out to people that are in your space, but maybe slightly bigger channels and bigger audiences, and just invite them and collaborate. You'll be surprised that what they say when they say
I mean,
yes.
that's true, right? You think about it, you're only going to grow yourself if you hang around. Everyone could be a winner, but you want to hang around with winners. You want to
That's
hang
right.
around with folks that are actually doing positive things within society. Kind of just like my opening monologue for this show series, right? People,
Yeah.
processes, and industries that are doing positive things within society. So you want to be and not mimic, not imitate, but just be around folks that have that level of thinking, that
Yeah.
level of positive movement, right? You don't want to be stagnant. No one here that's watching or going to listen to this afterwards is ready to retire. We all still
Right.
have that
Right.
fire. We're
Right.
all still trying to make some type of positive influence on our sphere of influence, the folks that are
Hmm.
around us. So I really like what you said right there, man. Uh,
Yeah.
you
Yep.
got to roll.
Absolutely.
I know you do. And again, I'm being cognizant of your time, but I would
I
love if you could
appreciate
just
it.
close and say where folks can find you. I've already put a couple of the sites up, but I'll put those in the
Yeah. Thank you.
description as well. But tell folks where they can find you, Rob.
Yeah, James, Mr. Hicks, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you sharing your audience with me, and vice versa. And yeah, I hope you guys learned something today, got some value out of it. If you guys want to connect, yes, there you go. You see my YouTube channel there. Just copy and paste my name per platform, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram or LinkedIn. I got a really long last name, but yeah, just copy and paste it. You'll find my channel. Connect with me. Send me a message. I'm always happy to help you, and help out and point you in the right direction, however I can add value to you. And yeah, James, thank you so much, man, for having me on.
Bruh, appreciate you. And yeah, there's only one Balasabas, right? So you go out there and do a Google search. You
I
you
think
you
so. I think so. I
you may
haven't done
find
one.
someone else in his family, but for the most part, near page one and page two is going to be Rob with a cup of coffee in his hand,
Yeah,
and
that's right. That's
and probably in an airport. When will be the next time I see you, man? Is it October? Are you going to Boston or anytime anywhere else?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
the Ecam camp. Yeah, I'll be there. Creator
Okay.
camp. Yeah, I just
All
got the
right. Me,
email.
me
So
and the
yeah,
wife
I'll
are
be
going to
there.
stay for a little bit a long time. We're going to stay over the weekend
Oh,
too. So
nice,
we're going to
nice.
definitely live it up there. Hopefully, we can see you there and hang out as well,
Yeah.
man.
Oh yeah, you bet, man. Count on it. Yeah, I'll
Thank you.
see you there. And yeah, awesome again. Thank you so much, man. This is awesome.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Everyone in the community, if you found some value in this, please share it. If you didn't find value in this and there's some need for improvement, let me know. I mean, again, I'm only here to shepherd the community and help everyone grow and get better at what it is that we do. Until next time, you guys be good. Take care of yourself.